multiply the number by the percentage in decimal form. For example, 25% of 80 is calculated as 0.25 times 80 equals 20. To calculate the percentage increase, subtract the old value from the new value, divide by the old value, and multiply by 100. For instance, a laptop's price rising from 600 to 720 is a 20% increase. So you would do 720 minus 600, and then divide that by 600, and then you get 20%. Calculating percentage decrease involves subtracting the new value from the old value, dividing by the old value, and multiplying by 100. A coat reduced from $240 by 30% results in a new price of $168. So in this case, you would do 240 minus 168, and then divide that by 240, and you get the 30%. To find the final price after a discount, subtract the discount amount from the original price. For example, with a $270 vacuum cleaner discounted by $90, the price paid is $180. So it'd be 270 minus 90 equals 180. Calculating commission involves multiplying total sales by the commission rate. A salesperson achieving $45,000 in sales at a 3% commission rate earns that $1,350. So you do $45,000 times 0.03, then you get 1,350. To calculate population change percentage, divide the increase or decrease by the original population, then multiply it by 100. The town's population growing from 8,000 to 10,000 indicates 25% increase. So you do 10,000 minus 8,000 divided by 8,000, you get 25%. Determining revenue loss percentage requires comparing the original revenue to a new revenue. If a business revenue drops from $100,000 to $85,000, the loss is 15% in this case. So you would do 85,000 minus 100,000 divided by the 100,000, and then you get 15% loss. Price adjustments are vital in retail, influencing profitability. For example, adjusting a bicycle's price from $800 to $600 represents a 25% decrease, impacting consumer perception. So you do 600 minus 800, and then divide that by 800, you get 25% decrease. To find 25% of a number, multiply the number by 0.25. For example, 25% of 80 is 20, calculated as 80 times 0.25. Determine a price increase percentage, use the formula bracket, new price minus original price bracket, divided by original price times 100. The laptop's price rose from $600. A 10% increase results in new price of $660. So you do 600 times 1.10, you get 660. To calculate new price after a discount, subtract the discount amount from the original price. For instance, a coat price is $240 with a 30% discount costs $168 after applying the reduction. So you do 240 times bracket 1 minus 0.3 bracket, and you get 168. Calculate the original salary before a percentage increase using the formula. New salary divided by bracket 1 plus percentage increase bracket. For a new salary of $52,500 after a 5% increase, the original salary is $50,000. So you do 50,000 times 1.05, then you get 52,500. To determine commission earned, multiply the total sales by the commission percentage. For a salesperson who sold $45,000 with a 3% commission rate, their earnings total $1,350. So how you do that is 45,000 times 1.03. Then you get 1,350. Percentage change in population can be calculated using bracket new population minus original population bracket divided by original population times 100. An increase from 8,000 to 10,000 reflects 25% growth in population. So an increase from 8,000 to 10,000 would be a 2,000 person increase. 2,000 divided by 8,000 would be 0.25, 25%. Understanding revenue loss involves knowing the original revenue and calculating decrease. The company increases revenue by 15%, dropping from 100,000 to 85,000, showing a $15,000 loss. So 100,000 minus 85,000, that'd be 15,000. 15,000 divided by 100,000 would be 15%. When a product experiences a price increase followed by a decrease, the net change is not zero. For example, if an item increased by 10%, then decreases by 10%, the final price would be lower than the original, illustrating the impact of sequential percentage changes. So if the item was originally $1, it increased by 10%, it would now be $1.10. And then if it decreased by 10% after that, it would go from $1.10 to about 99 cents in that case. So the increase and decrease amount will be different. Determining the original value after a percentage decrease requires algebraic manipulation. For instance, if an item's price drops to 80% of the original amount after a 20% decrease, you can calculate the original price by dividing the sale price by 0.8. Employee attendance percentages are vital for operational efficiency. For example, if 80% of 200 employees show up, that equates to 160 employees present. So you do 80% times 200, you get 160, highlighting the size and the impact of absenteeism on productivity. Working capital measures a company's short-term financial health. If working capital increases by 75%, knowing the new amount can help determine the original. For example, if the new capital is 78,400, the original was 44,800 after calculation. So you would do 44,800 times 1.75 equals 78,400. Multi-step percentage problems involve sequential calculations. For example, determining the final price after successive discounts requires applying each percentage to the resultant amount rather than original price, affecting the total discount calculation. Businesses leverage percentages for pricing strategies, profit margins, and financial forecasts. Understanding these values can